The world we live in today is full of amazing, high-speed technology that gives people powers that they wouldn't have had in previous decades. Some of these powers include talking to people on the other side of the world in real time, saving special life moments to an external memory that can be replayed over and over, and making advanced mathematical calculations in less than a second. All of these powers in a device small enough to fit comfortably in your pocket. This world, however, feels normal and ordinary. It feels like these powers are almost inherent and that they are nothing new. But if you were to travel back in time to the 1970s and tell people that by 2010 there would be a commercially available pocket-sized computer many times stronger than the 1970s supercomputers that took up an entire room, they would likely think that you're crazy. At that point in time, technology was becoming smaller and faster, but it still wasn't possible to shrink computers to a small enough size where one could fit in your pocket. It wasn't until 1981 when Professor Norio Taniguchi of Tokyo University of Science developed the scanning tunneling microscope that could see individual atoms. It was through this discovery that nanotechnology was born. Whether you're interested in nanotechnology or not, chances are that you've heard the term thrown around in popular movies. In Marvel's 2018 Infinity War, Tony Stark's Iron Man suit assembles itself in a way that's seemingly impossible, or even magical, which he credits to nanotechnology.
Where'd that come from?
It's nanotech, you like it?
In The Spy Next Door, released in 2010, Bobby Ho, played by Jackie Chan, uses nanotechnology containing spy gear to help look after his girlfriend's 3 kids. 2 of his gadgets included a smartwatch and smart glasses, both with high-tech applications, giving him the upper hand against the kids.
Yeah, you know the rules. No soda upstairs.
What? How did you?
Lastly, in Marvel's 2018 release of Black Panther, Princess Shuri creates a suit for her brother, T'Challa, which is constructed of nanotechnology. Nanobots are stored in T'Challa's necklace while dormant, but when he triggers them, they weave across his body, forming a distinctive suit. The nanobots in the suit are also capable of absorbing kinetic energy and expelling it at a later time.
Delete that footage.
Hollywood's creative portrayals of nanotechnology are great, but what exactly is nanotechnology, and how is it made? Oxford's dictionary defines technology as the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. Nano, on the other hand, is a unit prefix meaning 1/billionth. So nanotechnology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, where dimensions of the technology produced are within the size range 1 to 100 nanometers. Let's look at a quick example to see how small a nanometer really is. Here is a golf ball with a diameter of 4.2 centimeters. Next to it is a coffee bean, which measures 1 centimeter across. Following that is a human hair with a width of 100 micrometers. Next is a red blood cell with a diameter of 7 micrometers. Following that is megavirus, the world's largest known virus, measuring at 440 nanometers. Following is coronavirus, measuring in at 120 nanometers. Following this is a strand of DNA, measuring in at 3 nanometers in width. Lastly, followed by this circle, representing the diameter of a nanometer. This nanometer is equivalent to the length of 3 carbon atoms side by side. Here are some of the nanotechnologies currently used around the world. Transistors. Transistors are the basic switches that enable all modern computing. They have gotten smaller and smaller through nanotechnology. In 2000, a typical transistor was 130 to 250 nanometers in size. In 2014, Intel created a 14 nanometer transistor, followed by IBM's 7 nanometer transistor a year later, followed again by a 1 nanometer transistor a year later in 2016 by Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. Smaller, faster, and better transistors may mean that soon your computer's entire memory may be stored on a single tiny chip. The next application is body armor. Body armors today are able to stop most calibers, but usually with a significant amount of damage to the armor and to the person inside it. Even without penetration, a bullet can hurt a person's internals. A weapons manufacturing company called First Choice Armor uses a substance that they call Nano in its N-Force vest to solve this problem. When a vest is coated with Nano the armor spreads out the force of impact over a much wider area, in effect cushioning the blow of a bullet by diverging the impact. A third and final application is furniture and clothing. Furniture manufacturers are coating furniture foam with flame-retardant carbon nanofibers and integrating silver nanoparticles in fabric to kill bacteria, making clothes odor-resistant. There are many effective processes for printing nanotechnologies like these. There isn't, however, a single best fabrication for all nanotechnologies. One of these processes, however, is a popular one used in the fabrication of many nanotechnologies. It's called photolithography. Photolithography is the process of transferring geometric shapes on a mask to the surface of a silicone wafer. To better understand how this process works, let's look at how photolithography is used in the fabrication process of chips. A chip is a complex device that forms the brain of every computing device, including memory and microprocessing. While chips look flat, they are three-dimensional structures and may have as many as 30 layers of complex circuitry. These chips usually have a silicone substrate or base layer, since silicone is a semiconductor. A semiconductor is a material that has a conductivity between that of an insulator, like rubber, or a conductor, like copper. Technologies like laptops, phones, and TVs all have and use chips. Just know that it's a semiconductor device that is used to amplify or switch electronic signals. You know how a computer's code at the most fundamental level is ones and zeros? Well, transistors are where this binary code physically happens. A current that is strong enough to pass through a gate is a 1, while a current that isn't is a 0. So how can we use photolithography to help build a chip? To be clear, this is not a demonstration or visualization of the whole process of microchip fabrication. It's just a general overview of how photolithography works, which is just a step in the entire process.